Hello everybody, I'm trying this in OBS Studio to see if this works a little better. My description yesterday, or my little layout yesterday in my Michael Myers suit was a little convoluted, so I'm going to try to do this in more of a structured fashion. This is about timecode. So let's start with the MixPre3. This is a professional audio recorder that is used in major feature films. In fact, usually they use the 10-channel version. This just has 3 channels in it, but all the hardware, the preamps and all that kind of stuff is the same. So it has 2 inputs there. Make sure you're actually using input 1 or input 1 for your single channel microphone. I'm not going to do a whole demo on this unit, but I will go through how to get timecode on it. So one of the things is that there's this little port over here on the side that says auxiliary / mic in. It's a little 3.5 millimeter input jack, so standard headphone size. And what we're going to do is plug in one of these Tentacle Sync boxes, and I'll go over this in a second. But first we have to set up some menu items. So I'll go into the menu, which is the 3 bars there, and you'll see the first thing that we want to go to is inputs. So when I hit inputs, it'll give you some options, and one of the options here is aux in mode. And I'm going to tap that, and you'll see that it is currently set for timecode because I preset this up. But sometimes these units get changed. People mess with the settings or it resets to defaults. And it will default to the line input, and that won't help us. So make sure you set it for timecode aux in 1. Okay? So now we'll go back and out to the main menu. And on the next page, if you tap the little word menu, you'll get to the next page. See in the upper left there, it says timecode. You want to click that one. And the timecode mode needs to be on free run for this to work. If you have it in any other modes, you won't be able to jam sync. And jam sync is where you plug in the timecode unit, and then it sets the timecode in this device. Then you can unplug the timecode unit, and the device will just keep that timecode forever. So we have to set that free run. In the bottom down here, it says jam. Now you'll notice the frame rate also says 24 FIPS. Make sure if you're shooting on a camera like a Sony or one of the Blackmagics, and you have it set for 2398, because I think the Sonys and the Canons don't actually have a 24 FIPS mode, but the Blackmagics and the Komodo do. So if you're shooting pure 24 FIPS, make sure you set it for that. If you're shooting 2398, make sure you set it for that. So that says 24. So we're leaving out that one for this example, because I'll be using Komodo footage, I guess. So now what we do, let's flip over to this guy, and I'm going to turn it on. Just hold down this little side switch for a few seconds, and you'll see you get a red blinking light. The red blinking light means that it's on, but it also means it's not synchronized. So we'll go into the phone app. And the phone app looks like this. And the phone app can tell that the device is on. This one's named Duana. Notice how the other ones are off. When I click into this, it'll connect to it with Bluetooth. Then this turns to that, blue plus the dots. The blue means it's connected to the app, and the red means it's waiting to be sunk up. So I'll sync to this device, sync all, and you'll see it kind of go through some stuff, and then this will turn green. That means it's sunk up. Now if I click back into this, I can see what the time code is, and the blue light tells me that it's actually connected to the app, so that's good. And just like we changed it to 24 FIPS in the MixPre3 recorder, we also want to make sure it says 24 FIPS here. You can see where it says 24 FIPS. If you are working at 2398 because you're on a Sony or Canon, you can just click that button, the actual button that says 24 FIPS, click that, and then change it to the right frame rate that you're using. I'm not going to do that. I'm staying at 24 FIPS. So we're at 103542. So what I'll do now is take the headphone style connector, this is a 3.5 millimeter connector, and I'll connect it into the little side port, not the headphone jack, but the one next to it. And once that's pressed all the way in, I'll go to my timecode menu, and I'll hit the word jam, and it'll show me the 2 timecodes. Now they're sunk up because I've tried this video a couple times, but what I do is hit the jam button down here at the bottom. It takes a second and it jams, and now those 2 things are locked together. And if you can see, the time codes on there are the same as this one. If you can see that. That means everything's jammed together. Now that it's jammed, I can actually unplug this Tentacle device, and I'll go plug this into the camera. So this is all set to go. I can get out of the menu, do my recordings. Every time I press record, it'll lay down that timecode onto the recording, so that'll be locked together, which we'll see when we get to the application. Oh, one little side note about the MixPre3. If it doesn't turn on, it's something about the battery packs that we use. I think they kind of go to sleep. So if it won't turn on, then with this little switch, then just turn it off, unplug the USB-C, and plug it back in again. And then it should power on, because it kind of wakes the battery up when you plug it in. So just something to keep note of. Also, the battery packs don't last forever. They're back here in the back, this little back thing. So double check. Like, I've only got one dot left on here, and I haven't really been using it that long, so that means this was not charged. So be sure to prep your equipment and charge your batteries before your shoot. Now, what I would do with this is go plug it into the camera. So if you have, you know, something like a Komodo or one of the Canons that we've got for the demo, they actually have a separate timecode track. Or actually, Sam Pizza has a Lumix GH7, and that has a separate timecode track on it. But like the Sony FX30 or Canon, you know, R series or any other mirrorless that you're using does not. It's you actually have to take over an audio track with this. You plug this into your mic input, and then it starts getting audio, and that's what we're going to show over here in Resolve. I'm going to bring in the footage that we messed with the other day, which is here. I'll just drag that in, and then I'll drag in the shot from Bennett's camera, and then I'll grab the audio that we used yesterday, which should be here in the folder from the MixPre. And you'll see we got these 3 clips. Now, the thing I missed yesterday, remember I was missing a step. The Komodo already has timecode built into it. You can see it right up over here, 8:17:41. And then you can see in the MixPre3, the timecode is 8:18 because we started a couple seconds later or whatever. But that's already to go. So all I would have to do is select these 2 things and select those 2, right click, hit auto sync audio, and set it to timecode, and then hit sync. And now they're sunk up. So camera audio on the Komodo has been replaced with our MixPre track. The same thing will work with the Sony clip. If you go like this and you see how I've got all that noise in there. Like if you look at the Sony clip, look at the timecode. It's 04:52 because that's what was built into already set on Bennett's camera. So what we want to do is actually lock this to the audio that's in the clip itself. And so the way we do that is right click and then say update timecode from audio track. And this is the step that I missed yesterday. But if I click this, now look at the timecode. Now it's the timecode from the Tentacle box that was feeding into the audio. And then if I go here and select these 2, right click and do auto sync audio and do timecode, and now they're locked in. So I can show you that, but if I go to the create new timeline using selected clips, I'll do that. And then I'll also do one with the Komodo. But look, here is our MixPre3 audio, and there's no more timecode screeching because we sunk those up. And if I look at timeline 2, it's the same thing. It's a Komodo footage with the MixPre3 audio. So that extra step that I missed, which you have to remember, is that if you're using something like original footage, let me just show you again. I'll delete this clip. Yes, that's fine. And I'll bring it in again. And you can see this one does not have, it says it has audio in it, but it's not sunk up with the audio. So if I play it, it's like this squeak, you know, the modem sound. But now if I right-click it and update timecode from audio track, timecode updates to the current stuff from the Tentacle feed, and then I can lock these 2 together. So I just shift select those, auto sync audio, and now in that instant, now there's no more screeching. See? And you can do this for all the clips. So if you had, you know, 100 clips and just drag them all your audio, all your video, drag them together, and you know, with your camera footage that does not have audio, you'd have to auto sync. You'd have to update the timecode based on the audio track. It does that, and then you select them all and do auto sync, and then it works fine.